Neoliberalism, from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. This is part of the politics series on economic liberalism.
Diagnosed with cancer.
Neoliberalism is a 20th century resurgence of 19th century ideas associated with laissez-faire economic liberalism
and free market capitalism,
which constituted a paradigm shift away from the post-war Keynesian consensus that had lasted from 1945 to 1980.
Neoliberalism is generally associated with policies of economic liberalization, including privatization, deregulation, free trade, austerity, and reductions in government spending,
in order to increase the role of the private sector in the economy and society. However, the defining features of neoliberalism in both thought and practice have been the subject of substantial scholarly debate. English speakers have used the term neoliberalism since the start of the 20th century with different meanings, but it became more prevalent in its current meaning in the 1970s and 1980s, used by scholars in a wide variety of social sciences, as well as by critics. The term is rarely used by proponents of free market policies. Some scholars have described the term as meaning different things to different people, as neoliberalism has mutated into geopolitically distinct hybrids as it traveled around the world. As such, neoliberalism shares many attributes with other concepts that have contested meanings, including democracy. The definition and usage of the term have changed over time. As an economic philosophy, neoliberalism emerged among European liberal scholars in the 1930s as they attempted to revive and renew central ideas from classical liberalism.
What is a classical
as
liberal?
they saw these ideas diminish in popularity, overtaken by the recognition of the need to control markets following the Great Depression, and manifested in policies designed to counter the volatility of free markets and mitigate their negative social consequences. The impetus for this development arose from a desire to avoid repeating the economic failures of the early 1930s, which was identified to be created by the economic policy of classical liberalism.
It sounds like
When the term entered into common use in the 1980s in connection with Augusto Pinochet's economic reforms in Chile, it quickly took on negative connotations and was employed principally by critics of free market reform and laissez-faire capitalism. Scholars tended to associate it with theories of the theory of Montpellier society economists Friedrich Hayek, Milton Friedman, and James M. Buchanan, along with politicians and policymakers such as Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, and Alan Greenspan. Once the new meaning of neoliberalism became established as a common usage among Spanish-speaking scholars, it diffused into English language study of political economy. By 1994, with the passage of NAFTA and with the Zapatistas' reaction to this development in the Chiapas, the term entered global circulation. Scholarship on the phenomenon of neoliberalism has been growing over the last few decades.
Part 1. Terminology. Origins. An early use of the term in English was in 1898 by the French economist Charles Gide to describe the economic beliefs of the Italian economist Maffeo Ferricini. Maffeo Pantaleone cut the welfare. To describe the economic beliefs of the Italian economist Maffeo Pantaleone.
Correct.
With the term néo-libéralisme previously existing in French, and the term was later used by others, including the classical liberal economist Milton Friedman in his 1951 essay, Neoliberalism and Its Prospects.
In 1938, at the colloque Walter Lippmann, the term neoliberalism was